All right, now you're saying, what's the deal with the house behind me? One of the coolest experiences of my entire life. Here's what happened. I was asked to go on a burn in our city where I live. And the fire chief actually invited me to dress up in the fire retardant equipment, not oxygen, but the compressed air. And I actually went in that house when it was burning. The reason I wanted this behind me, or with me today, to show you, is because this day blew me away. And here's what I mean by it. It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning. All the fire people are there working on, setting the house ablaze to burn it down, and then they were going in. I have never seen more excited people, but here's the part. They weren't sitting there complaining, oh, it's Sunday, we got to go to work. They weren't being paid for this. They were doing this because they wanted to, as practice. And then after the house burned down, all the firemen are still sitting around, taking pictures, talking about the swirls of smoke and this and that. Here's why I wanted this with me today. Because it was about enthusiasm, dedication, desire, focus. How do you train these things? Look, if I can train my dog to go to the bathroom outside, look, you don't just get a brand new puppy and go, all right, Scooter, let's go. Got it. No, it's repetition. And you use positive motivation, fear, intimidation, cage training, whatever you use, but it's a method. Well, training to firemen, training salespeople, it still comes down to training. But the key ingredients aren't trainable. Like I said before, how do you train dedication? How do you train desire, wanting to do this all the time? How do I train focus, where you're focused on your job, like a surgeon focused on what they have to do that day? How do I train discipline, being disciplined enough to make the calls every day? How do I train this? Enthusiasm. Imagine I started off this seminar, or this speech like this. Hi, my name's Hal, and this will be about a 40-minute video. Oh, it'll be fun. You'd be hitting the fast forward or stop button right about now. Enthusiasm's contagious. One of the most important things for a salesperson. How do I train curiosity? Oh, you know how important curiosity is? This shocked me. When Peter Jennings died a couple years ago, everybody that they interviewed about Peter Jennings, and I did not know this, everybody said, first of all, he was a high school dropout. Now think about this, one of the most respected positions in the history of the world. I mean, the world, not talking about certain worldly figures, but in terms of broadcasting, I'm making this number up. What is there, 30 broadcasters in history since Huntley Brinkley? Maybe 25, maybe 35, but the number's pretty close. And he's one of these most important people, high school dropout. But everybody they interviewed about Peter Jennings, every nightly newscaster, every politician, everyone that were of importance said the same thing. They said, Peter Jennings, one of the most curious people they've ever met. How do you train that? A curious person is so important in sales because now you're curious about that business, what they're doing, how they're doing it, what you can provide for them, how you can make them maybe a little better. How do I train, as I said, curiosity? How do I train enthusiasm? These words aren't trainable. You got to have that inside of you. How do I train, to me, the most important word of them all? The key, most important word. Take a guess. You won't come up with it. Ready? Empathy. How do I train someone to put the customer first? Not going through the motions and go, hey, trust me. No. When you walk out, that customer knows that you put them first. They know you're sincere. They know you're genuine. They know you're down to earth. They know you're honest. They know you care. You can train these words? No, I can't train these words. I can't train a Michael Jordan to love basketball. You can't train a Tiger Woods to love golf. You can't train a Katie Couric to love doing the news or to be on TV. I can go on and on. You can't train these things. It's got to come down to what you want to do. So what's important are the words I went through. The other things can be trained. I can train you. You can train yourself to make calls. You can train how to use the phone. You can train how to drive a car to get to that client. You can train to be asked questions. The key ingredients that make that 3%, the best of the best, not even trainable. Can't even begin to do it. You got to decide if this is what you want to do. So why don't you decide now? Thank you.